When did you decide to beat them at their own game? When my landlord fined me $75 for my trash cans, he ended up refunding $47,000 to everyone. I was already stretching every dollar when I found that first fine taped to my door in April. $50 for long grass. My stomach dropped because that was my grocery money for the week. I actually went outside with a ruler to measure it. 3.5 inches when the lease said 4 was the limit. I called the office furious, but the secretary just sounded bored. She said, "Decisions are final," and hung up on me. May was worse. $75 because my trash cans were visible. I'd brought them in 2 hours after pickup like I always did. By June, they wanted $100 for the potted plant my mom gave me sitting on my porch. I was down to eating ramen for every meal by July. One night, I posted in our building chat about how I couldn't afford this anymore and my phone blew up. Everyone had been getting these same fines and keeping quiet about it. Barbara from downstairs messaged me privately about something called anti-retaliation laws. She came over the next day with her laptop and we started digging. This guy owned 12 buildings and was pulling this crap everywhere. Monday morning, I filed everything with the city while my hands were still shaking from anger. The inspection request, the housing authority complaint, photos of every bogus fine Barbara and I had collected from 23 tenants across his properties. I wanted to bury this guy. Frank the inspector showed up 2 weeks later, and I could tell right away he was one of those guys who took pride in his work. We started in the basement, and his face changed immediately. He pointed his flashlight at exposed asbestos insulation and actually cursed under his breath. "This could have killed someone," he said, writing furiously on his clipboard. It got worse with every floor we climbed. No carbon monoxide detectors anywhere. Smoke detectors dangling from ceilings without batteries. Frank kept muttering and shaking his head. The mold in apartment 3B made me gag when he opened the closet. He tested the stair railing, and it wobbled so bad he almost fell. The missing one on the second floor had been gone for months. By the time we got to the roof to check the water heater venting, Frank had filled 3 pages of violations, 17 total. His rental license had been expired since 2019. Frank ordered emergency repairs within 30 days, said it was the worst building he'd seen with people still living in it. But the real escalation came when the housing authority called me back. They'd found the pattern across all 12 properties, $47,000 in bogus fines. The investigator's voice got serious when she said they were contacting the attorney general about criminal fraud charges. 3 days later, I got a frantic voicemail from his attorney wanting an urgent meeting. The panic in her voice told me we had him cornered. They'd given him an ultimatum that would cost him everything. His attorney looked like she was about to throw up during our meeting. Her hands shook as she explained the criminal charges would destroy his entire rental empire. She said he has 72 hours to decide and basically ran out of there. Those 3 days were torture. I kept checking my phone every 5 minutes. Barbara had everyone in the Facebook group posting updates constantly. Nobody could focus on anything else. I laid awake at night doing math in my head. $850 meant real food, catching up on bills, maybe even putting gas in my car without panicking. Day 3, my phone rang at 4 p.m. The attorney's voice was flat and defeated. "We'll refund everything." My legs gave out and I slid down the kitchen wall to the floor. Barbara started sobbing on the phone when I told her. The group chat exploded. We'd actually won. That check hitting my account felt like winning the lottery. $850 for real groceries. I cried in the cereal aisle buying name brand. All $47,000 got returned to tenants. We got our rent frozen for 2 years. He had to fix every violation in 3 weeks and hire a real property management company. Housing authority inspects him quarterly now like he's on probation. He had to sell 3 buildings to cover the repairs and fines. But word got around to his other tenants and they started reporting violations too. Sometimes you really can beat them at their own game.